fluorescent lights of the hospital hallway hummed, a sterile, monotonous drone that did little to soothe the knot of dread in my stomach. It had been 3 days since the accident, 3 days since the screech of tires, the sickening crunch of metal, and the sudden, jarring silence that followed. I remembered fragments, the blurred faces of paramedics, the cold sting of antiseptic, the agonizingly slow journey to this place. But mostly, I remembered the emptiness, the space beside me in the car, where my wife, Sarah, should have been. The doctors were cagey, their words a careful dance around the truth. Critical, unstable, we're doing everything we can. Each phrase was a tiny hammer blow, chipping away at my dwindling hope. I sat by her bedside, holding her limp hand, the faint scent of her perfume a cruel reminder of the life we'd shared, a life now hanging by a thread. Then something shifted. It wasn't a sudden jolt, but a gradual, unnerving sensation, like a film reel stuttering. The beeping of the machines around me seemed to warp, elongating into a low, guttural thrum. The sterile white walls of the hospital room began to pulse with a faint, sickly green light. It wasn't a reflection. It was as if the very fabric of reality was unraveling. Sarah's eyes flickered open, but they weren't the warm, loving eyes I knew. They were glazed, unfocused, and held a chilling, alien emptiness. A low moan escaped her lips, a sound devoid of pain, of fear, of anything human. It was a sound that clawed at my sanity, a sound that belonged to something ancient and deeply wrong. Panic seized me. I scrambled back, my chair scraping against the floor. "Sarah, what's wrong? Can you hear me?" Her head turned slowly, deliberately towards me. A thin smile, too wide, too sharp, stretched across her face. It was not Sarah's smile. Her voice, when she spoke, was a raspy whisper, laced with a sound that was disturbingly like hissing. "You shouldn't have looked." The green light intensified, bathing the room in an unholy glow. The rhythmic beeping of the monitors now sounded like a mocking chuckle. I could feel a pressure building in my head, a sensation of being stretched, pulled, distorted. The familiar outlines of the hospital room began to melt, the orderly geometry dissolving into impossible angles. Shadows detached themselves from corners, writhing like snakes. A whisper, cold and ancient, slithered into my ear, though no one was there. "You borrowed too much time. Now you pay the debt." I looked down at Sarah's hand, still in mine. Her skin was darkening, taking on the color of bruised plums. Her fingernails elongated, sharpening into wicked claws. The gentle curve of her jawline seemed to contort, elongating into something predatory. I yanked my hand away, scrambling out of the room, my own screams tearing through the distorted hum. The hallway was no longer sterile and white. It was a twisting, claustrophobic tunnel, the walls dripping with a viscous, black substance that smelled of decay. The familiar faces of nurses and doctors were replaced by fleeting glimpses of distorted features, of eyes that burned with a malevolent red light. I ran blindly, desperately, the whispers chasing me, growing louder. coalescing into a single, chilling command. Join us. I could feel it, a parasitic tendril reaching for my mind, seeking to consume what was left of me. The accident hadn't just taken Sarah. It had opened a door to a reality where the worst nightmares clawed their way into existence, and I had stumbled right through it. And I knew, with a certainty that froze my blood, that I would never truly escape what I had seen, what had seen me.